willing to tell us a little bit about the whole concept behind A Feast on Sorrow, and how it's a lot heavier, it's a lot like darker, it's like dense, the especially in the lyrics department. So could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, essentially, it's to do with so two people in my immediate like family both got like dementia, Alzheimer's, and what have you. And it was at the same time I had that. Angus's mum had a stroke. Our ex-drummer's mother had an illness,
Oh
and it
man.
was just it felt like the right sort of thing to do. And thankfully, their side, like our previous drummer's mum's fine, and Angus's mum's fine, and but one of my relatives passed away. But and one of them, it's an ongoing thing.
Hmm.
But yeah, it just felt right to write it about it. And once we started to kind of write it, it was like this is going to be a heavy album. It's going to be a heavy concept. The artwork's gonna, the artwork had to be perfect, and it took us a while to get that artwork. And I was just like, we can't write a really uplifting album here.
Yeah.
It's not the right time to do this. And thankfully, like honestly, I wasn't sure. I've said this a few times. I wasn't sure if we did the right thing by doing an album on this, like this and this heavy. And again, I feel like, no matter what, we're getting established now, and there's going to be people who won't like it because the bigger you get, you know how it is. There's people out there who thinks Master of Puppets is shit. Imagine that. There's people who think that's shit because, it's just how people are. But I, I was like, did we do the right thing? And I was Simon and Owen, and then I've had a load of amazing emails, messages, be it the band or be it private. Then a guy sent me one, and it was just, oh, this is me and my wife at one of your gigs, and then he just told us what had happened to him over the last couple of years, and mate, it was weird because I've had a lot of that. We played a show recently, and this lady just wanted to hug because she's going through stuff, and it's a bit. I've got to get myself used to that. But this guy sent us something, and what done me, it was the fact that he sent a picture of him and his wife at one of our gigs, and then just wrote out this kind of story. And mate, I was at work about to go into a meeting. I work in a law firm as well, so it weren't good.
Okay,
I
okay.
was gone. I was in a bad way, and I sent it to Angus, and Angus had to go and have a
Oh
walk,
shit,
and
yeah.
it really just really just caught us, and that was the moment I realised we did the right thing. And again, like, look, if there's gonna be people who just love it because it's heavy. There's gonna be people who just, it's not their cup of tea. But there's gonna be people it means something to, and that's the best feeling.
For sure, man. I completely agree. It is definitely a heavy album. It's definitely a dense album, but it's so human, It's like
Yeah.
it really does like harp on those strings that just that are at the core of what we are. There's one track that it's like my third favorite on the album. I love all of the tracks, man. I just from beginning to end, I
Yeah.
love that album so much. But and it's A Feast on Sorrow. I really love the lyrics on that song. And I was just wanting to ask you if you could tell me a little bit about it, because I have like my take on it, but I wanted to see if I'm just like tripping.
Well, I mean, it's actually the one track that I guess is from a different view. A lot of it is based on what I'm seeing, what's happening day to day with my family, or kind of things from their view. A Feast on Sorrow is from a different, slightly, I guess, out of body thing. It's how does someone live a lot of their life, hasn't done anything wrong, lived an honest life, uh, retires to enjoy the rest of their 25, 30 years or whatnot. And then it's like I guess it's a play on death, but you think you're going to, but there you go. No, sorry, you're not. And it's from the other side, the thing you don't see, the evil, the misery of it, and that misery being constantly close, almost like holding the person's hand, and you can't see that. And it's just, you know, I am flesh. I'm the tomb that you need. Um, like it's like I am. It's almost saying like I'm everything. I can give you
Mhm.
everything, and I can take it away at any moment. I am life. I'm death. I'm merciless. It's I am empathy. Um, and there's a bit I am raised, arms raised high upon the altar where millions have prayed to me, because people pray and hope. You know what I mean? Like, please don't take this person from me. Please, be it whatever you believe.
Mhm.
No matter what happens, different religious backgrounds, whatnot. The moment that someone's ill, I'm sure everyone's going like, please. It doesn't. I don't know to what God or what thing you believe praying to, but it's literally I'm raised high upon the altar with where millions have prayed, and you will not see me there, but I will wait beside you, ready to hold on to you as you embrace despair. It's like I'm here. I'm ready to take you the moment that you want your life to end. I'm taking you away, and it is literally set from a darker,
Mhm.
and that's why I sing it. I sing it in a very different way to the rest of the album, in a more of a guttural, heavy, like almost going into character.
Uh-huh.
Um, and it's the chorus is what's circling the world. It's almost like, yeah, it's almost like this spirit is traveling the world to find the next person or the next people to take away early. Be it by tragedy, be it by a terminal, like long-term illness, by a short-term illness, and it is just, and but at the end, I just think I love that's my favorite part of the album. I think, um, and I just think it is literally there's a line in there. I will make your memories, and I will break those memories. And I
Mhm.
just think that I feel like that's for me, like that whole ending, how heavy it is. I
Mhm.
literally wrote it on this sofa, and then
Oh,
showed
hell
Angus,
yeah.
and then Angus added his flashes of brilliance to it, and then we were off, and I can't wait to play that live.
Uh-huh.
That ending could
Ser
be something special.
yeah, seriously. Amazing song, And yeah, I was thinking, as I was listening to it, that you take this role almost at it's almost as if the song starts with, in like this demonic, like evil, almost like spirit, right? And but then you start noticing how it like shifts a little bit, and it takes on a wider perspective. I feel like a deeper
Yeah.
perspective, like almost pointing to the into divinity, perhaps, of whichever whatever you believe in. And it really made me feel think, about the whole duality matter of it, and how we live in this like duality world or reality. But the second you join life and death, or opposites like healing and pain,
Hmm.
and you create one thing out of the out of that which is dual. I think you
Hmm.
transcend duality, and you transcend this world in a sense, and go into that which is divine, and that's
Hmm.
what I
Yeah.
got from that song, man. And it just hits so hard. I think it's beautiful the way you just like so easily can get into something that is just so ethereal. I don't know if that's the word,
Yeah, I guess it's the one thing that is, it's the one track that's probably lyrically a bit of a touchback to Serpent in Spirit, in that
Yeah.
kind of play between two worlds, and the wickedness and the evil that surrounds people, and especially those who are close to passing over, be it from a young age, sadly, up to, you know, a person who's lived a full, fruitful life.
Hmm.
And, you know, it's no matter what though, you know, it's there is that moment. And yeah, I'm glad you like that. I think that's a really I'm pretty happy with it. Even though it's a very simple song to play, I feel like it has its point. And I like the way it's so heavy, and we follow it up with something so soft.
Hmm.
I really I love that we did that.
Yeah, yeah. Love that part. Yeah, because that's when you transition into peace, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Excellent, excellent part. So my first and second place favorites are first, The Long Goodbyes, Where the Memories Go, and second, the other 11-minute one, A Stumble of Words. So you can choose to talk about whichever one you prefer to.
Well, I mean, I'll try and cover both. The Stumble of Words was
Thank you.
Angus. I think had the opening section of that for a while. There were some bits of that song that we had for a while, but then the we Angus has had that riff for fucking ages. But I was
Yeah.
listening a lot to two. There's two songs
Uh,
that I was listening to. Somebody Save Me by Cinderella,
okay.
um, like, uh, uh, and The Mission by Queensryche, and it's essentially them two songs blended in like to together. And I was like,
Uh-huh.
I want a really stomping riff, and I think I noted it to Angus. I was like, this is what I think we should do, and it's essentially like them two songs blended. And I guess it's a rip off, but to me, it's more of a me showing a sign of respect to Tom Kiefer and the guys from Queensryche to go, thanks for writing so much fucking great music.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
and so yeah, and then I kind of did that, and then Angus just took it off. You know, he went out there. So that's one that,
Seriously.
yeah, I mean, I think everything in that song, apart from that might all be Angus's. Whereas the long goodbye, the
Oh, hell yeah, man. That just gets me
that
every time. Every time.
that that's my I loved it opening. I loved the opening, which is Angus, and the it almost sounds like it reminds me of Queen in a way, but for me it was a bit of a tip of the hat to Stevie Ray Vaughan, to like Gary Moore, and
Nice.
then again that was a bit where I had like that's again me going to Angus. So I've got this and that. And I think the end part, I remember walking to Angus's, and I had it in my head in a Tesco supermarket near Angus's, and I was
Uh-huh.
like, "Buh," and I think I sent it to Angus, and by the time I got to his, but it was that to me, like Stumble of Words is Angus's masterpiece. Becoming the Ocean, the first riff written for that was the right. I wrote that in a hotel room when we was on tour, and
Wow.
um, and then the rest followed. So it wasn't the opening riff; it was the kind of middle section.
Uh-huh.
And like the Burden, Angus had that opening riff for ages, and then the second chuggy riff was one that I wrote, and it fucking took me ages to bloody learn it. I kept forgetting the pattern.
Uh-huh.
And then like the next riff is mine, but then Angus takes over again, and I just know that for me, it's like I don't need to have that thing where I go, oh yeah, I wrote half the songs, I wrote this. No, I don't need that at all. I'm lucky enough to, like say, to be able to sing and write lyrics for the songs that Angus writes. But what I do write, it serves its purpose. I won't try and fit in loads of riffs, but I think that's what's made Urne kind of give it its sound. you got Angus writing all the kind of technical stuff, and
Oh.
then I write the dumb, stupid riffs. And I think that's what's given Urne its kind of sound. Where so many bands now are like just one songwriter.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was but the long goodbye. It's what happens after peace is essentially the moment someone dies,
Hmm.
and the long goodbye is you're dealing with them final stages all the way up till you bury the person, be it whatever religion. It could be the next day, it could be within the week, or it could be a month down the line. And with that, there's certain things. We now all live down the coast, my family,
Okay.
and then like it's one time a year they light all these fire pits along the shoreline for
Okay.
miles, and there's
Nice.
a line in that when that person's gone over, passed over, there's a line where it goes, look to the shore and follow the fires. They will lead you back to peace. That is
Nice.
that is like me essentially saying to that person when they're gone, you'll be okay if you ever want to return or follow that, and you will find us along that way. And
Beautiful.
yeah, and yeah, there's certain lyrics in that where it's a lot of that's about that kind of the heartbreak of it. Like I think crying tears like a child um, is that if you get taken back to that that uncontrollable innocence when something terrible happens to someone you love, and you can't process it. But um, that's I'm really proud of that song lyrically. That was a hard one for me to finish, but I'm very proud of it. And the stumble of words, I think Angus, that's his moment. Um, I think that to me, there's some bits he does in that. The solo in the middle, I think, is fucking fantastic.
Oh my God,
Um,
seriously.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's he's got great taste.
Hmm.
Massively inspired by another fellow Asian guitarist, Jakey Lee from Ozzy Osbourne. That's one of his sort of big
Okay.
inspirations. And I think that's like a big moment for him. But I think for me, James on the long goodbye, seeing as he didn't have long to learn this album before he had to go and record because he joined us not long before. I think on
Okay.
the long goodbye, there's some great things he does.